Welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback. I am your host, Ryan Oliver, and today I am joined by a rising star from the state of Arizona, 2026 quarterback Jayden Pico. Jayden, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jayden. It's been about a year since we actually interviewed for the first time. A lot's happened in that year. I want to start here. You were named to our Elite 101. You took home the number 68 spot. I actually did a hidden gems article about talented athletes I felt like were a bit under the radar. And I want to read you an excerpt from that article, and I kind of want to know what you think. So I wrote, Pico is Arizona's premier youth quarterback who deserves a brighter spot on the national level for his talent. The Arizona native is a supremely talented dual threat quarterback that gashes defenses with both his arms and his legs. His ability to just make plays for his team is enough to make him worthy of a spot on our Elite 101. His potential is what excites us the most because he's just scratching the surface of what I believe he can do. So I read you that because I want to get your reaction to kind of like, do you feel like I accurately described your ability and the potential that you see in yourself going forward?
I really do. And when I first saw that, I was pumped up because it got me excited. And I was grateful that Youth One has really put me out there like that. And yeah, it got me really excited.
Yeah. And I read you that because you're one of the talents that I feel like I'm like, okay, I watch your film and I see elite youth quarterback, but like, why isn't there more? Why do I feel like there isn't enough people with eyes on you? So I really think you're really talented. And I want you to tell me what it felt like to be just recognized on the Elite 101 in general as one of the elite young talents in your class. Did that give you motivation to keep going and keep working hard?
Yeah, it was big motivation for me. And I was grateful and blessed that they even saw me. So I just kept working and grinding.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the progress you feel like you've made in your game. From the film that I've seen of you when I was doing the Elite 101 evaluation, I felt like from when I had first talked to you and interview with you, I could see how your game had evolved. Where are you at now with your game and how are you feeling about your progress?
I feel like I developed a lot actually, like just from the mental side and the physical side, like working with QB coaches on my like form and my mechanics, and then working like on the mental game, like over coverages and fronts. And I feel like I'm really starting to understand being able to dissect the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you're probably at this point where you're mixing that like natural ability because you're an athlete and you can just tell that by watching your film. You kind of have just a natural knack for playing the quarterback position mixed with your natural athleticism, but that mental component is starting to come in. And even watching your film, I was watching a couple throws right before this where you're throwing the ball on the move, and it was like you were anticipating where your receiver, like how you could throw your receiver open. I wanted to ask you about that specifically. Is that something that you work on in your training, is like kind of like anticipating how you can manipulate the defense and throwing the ball, like almost like throwing your receiver open?
Yeah, it's really all about like timing. You have to like your steps like go up with the route. So like depending on how many steps you take is like how deep the route is or how far the ball is going to be thrown, like stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the training that you put in. I want you to tell me a little bit about what you're doing. Athletes like you guys, I like to put a spotlight that you guys aren't just going to practice and going home. Like there's a lot of work that you guys are putting in your free time. Can you tell me a little bit about some of that work that you're putting in, Jayden?
I mean, it never stops. Like Sunday, I'm out with the QB coach. Monday, I'm doing on like online sessions, like Tuesday practice, Wednesday going to throw, Thursday practice, Friday another film session, and Saturday. Right now, I have games on Saturday, so
Okay.
that gets put into the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then Sunday back at it.
Yeah, it's like a never ending grind, but that's like the
Yeah.
dedication that, you, especially with quarterbacks too. It's like, obviously I do Monday morning quarterbacks. So I talk to a lot of quarterbacks, but I noticed that you guys, it's like every day, like the ones that are really, really dedicated. It's like, yeah, like after school, like my friends are doing this and that. And like, I'm just focused on, I mean, obviously you're focused on school, but your homework and stuff, but it's really like quarterback, drills or, different things to kind of get an edge on, your opponents. I want to ask you about how long you've been playing the quarterback position and what's your favorite part right now of playing the position?
I've been playing the quarterback position since I was about 12, so not too long, really.
Yeah.
Like I really just started getting into it like about end of sixth grade.
Wow.
Is when my dad like kind of made that transition. It was like, you need to be quarterback. So,
Yeah.
but So you said,
What do you enjoy most about playing quarterback right now? Is there like an element of it that like is bringing you a lot of joy right now?
I like throwing the ball a lot, to be honest with you. Like I
Yeah.
like getting the ball every play and then being able to like all the hard work you're putting in, right? Like you can use that to really like tear apart a defense. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's just fun for me.
You mentioned that and like the work that you're putting in and like that's kind of making it fun for you on the field. Do you feel like that like okay, so now I'm putting in all this work. Do you notice that like you have kind of like an edge over your opponents? I don't mean like you're gonna beat
Yeah,
them every time, but kind of like you feel like really confident in your abilities to go out there and make plays and perform.
I do. Like back there when I'm getting the snap, like I can, I'm really like pre-snap. I know like what's gonna happen because of all the film I've watched, and then like it just makes me it's like exciting when it
Yeah.
actually works. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you do
Yeah.
something that works and you knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like empowering because it's like, okay, I'm putting in all this work,
Yeah,
and now it's like, oh, okay, I see this, I see what's about to happen here, and I can anticipate it and make a play. I think that's really awesome. Like, it just sounds like that you're really confident and like happy with the progress that you're making and kind of like the trajectory that you're on. And I think that that's really cool. Jayden, in your own words, what do you feel like your strengths are on the field?
I feel like I can make plays like other people can't with my legs and with my arm, and I I think I'm really accurate with my throws, like on air and when it's game time.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I think your arm strength too is like something that I watch and like you put some real zip on the ball and you can fit the ball into like tight spots too. Like I kind of previously
Yeah,
mentioned, I think that especially with youth quarterbacks, I'm like, okay, if he can do that, like on the move and throw it tight, tight spiral in a tight window, like that's impressive. So, shout out to you and the work that you're putting in. Jayden, if I've never seen you play and I come to a game where you're playing quarterback, what can I expect to see from you?
I mean you should expect to see a show. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going 100% all the time. You should expect to see me never less than that, and you should expect to see a win from our team.
I like that. I like that. I want to ask you a little bit about your leadership. Do you feel like you're a leader of the teams that you play for? And tell me a little bit about like how your leadership, shows itself. Are you more vocal or lead by example?
Um, I would say I'm a little bit of both because I'm vocal when I need to be, and then I'm really like more of a leader by example because I'm doing what other people aren't. Like by putting the work they aren't, and then that shows them like what they need to be doing.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I totally get that. I think that like especially with the amount of work that you're putting in, I think that your peers can see like oh snap, like Jayden is on like he's out here really performing. Like clearly that work, like that's leadership in itself. Like clearly that work is paying off, and like obviously you're getting some attention for your ability to play the quarterback position. So I think that that's a form of leadership in itself. Jayden, I know that you're constantly putting in work in on your game, but is there an area of your game you look at and you say, okay, if I can get better in this specific area, I can take my game to another level? Have you identified an area you want to work on?
My timing and then being able to really like drive the ball
Okay.
because I haven't really like my ball. Like some people say like, oh, he can throw the ball really hard. Like, but I feel like if I can like drive it deep downfield, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always been a struggle for me.
Yeah, I think it's really good when like young athletes, you guys can identify, a specific area. Like, okay, if I can get better at this now, I can really take my game to a different level. Because I think everyone's, you guys are taught to be like, oh, I'm working on everything, and I'm like, I'm sure you are working on everything, but like, what's a weakness that you can, really, hone in on? And if timing is something you want to get better at or driving the ball, I think it's great to identify those things early on and work towards it. I want to ask you about your goals, Jayden. What are some short-term goals that you have for yourself and some long-term goals as well?
Short term, I mean, well, I'm not in high school yet, but I'd like to get the state passing record in Arizona, and then I'd like to play college football, and then everyone's big time goal is make it to the NFL big time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's like I feel like that's you're putting all this work in now. You're not doing it just to not
Yeah.
try to make it big. So I totally get that. Is there a college program you look at and you say, hey, it'd be cool to play for them one day, or anything like that?
ASU, like
Yeah.
hometown and everyone like I have a few coaches that used to go there that have played in the NFL and all that.
Yeah.
And I really just like the program.
I think that's dope. Like, I think it's cool when people want to like rep the state that they're from. Like, yeah, like it'd be dope to just stay home and ball out, right here. I think that that's really cool. Yeah, I feel like, you see a lot of people like, oh yeah, I want to go to, LSU or Alabama, like where, it's like, yeah, those are great programs, but that's really cool. Like, it'd be cool to go to ASU or Arizona Kid and kind of stay home and do your thing. I want to ask you a little bit about off the field stuff. What are some things that you like to do when you're not prepping for football and practicing and putting in that work on the football field? What are some things you like to do for fun?
I play basketball. I like to play basketball. I'm not the best at basketball, but I just like to play. And I'm a Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty Warzone. Like I'll play that
Okay.
now. And we go to like there's a lake not too far from my house. And we have a boat, so we like to go out there all the time and really just hang out with my friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna ask you about basketball because I'm a big basketball fan. What's your skill in basketball? Like, can you shoot? Can you dribble? You play defense? Like, I know you got some good. You kind of hesitated, like you weren't that good. What's your skill? I know you got something.
I can rebound the ball really good. Like I'm
Okay.
kind of a Dennis Rodman type of guy. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not really, I can't, I don't know, I'm not really all shifty in basketball and I don't have the handles, but I can get up there and get a board and then put it back up.
Yeah, it's like the athleticism, that like natural athleticism that you have. I'm sure
Yeah.
like that helps you too. I was never really good at basketball, but I was like a try hard. So it was like I would make varsity just because when we would play, like I would out hustle. Like I couldn't shoot, I couldn't dribble that well, but like I could rebound and get and play defense and get steals. So oh, I always like them. It was like it's like, yeah, you're a try hard, if rebounding is your I'm messing with you. Nah, it's all good. That's an important skill. And football is obviously working out for you, so you don't need to worry about playing basketball too much anyway. I'm gonna ask you this question: what's in your headphones right now that gets you pumped up before a game to go out there and throw touchdowns? And I'm 30 now, so the younger generation got to keep me hip to like what do I need to add to my workout playlist that gets you going?
You probably ain't gonna like this answer, but I like old school, like
Okay,
old
give
rap.
me give me give me something old school then.
Like I like Snoop Dogg, Too Short, like
Okay.
Nas, like all those guys.
That's dope, actually. I think it's really cool, like when like the younger generation likes older, like older artists, I guess, for lack of a better way to phrase it. Like the fact that the fact that you even know who Too Short is like surprising to me in itself, because I feel like that's something that like my generation came up on. It's like, Too Short, like, is Too Short a like somewhat popular artist in Arizona, or you just happen to listen to Too Short?
I just happen to listen. Like my dad put me on it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, okay. Shout out to Pops then. That's awesome. I feel like because I'm like, I don't, does Too Short have recent stuff out that I like don't know about? It's like, nah, that's really dope though. Well, Jayden, is there anything else that people may not know about you that you like them to know?
Mm, not really. I mean, I'm gonna outwork everyone. That's what they should know. And one day I'll be the best. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I like that. I like that. It's that's a great way to end this interview. Jayden, thank you for joining me on Monday Morning Quarterback. You got a lot of talent. You're probably Arizona's best youth quarterback, and I think that you deserve some more national attention. So I'm happy to give that to you, and I wish you the best going forward. You got a big fan in me of your talent, so I look forward to interviewing you again in a year and catching up with what you got going on. But thank you for joining me on Monday Morning Quarterback, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.